Maybe lock of the week is the fucking parlay of them both.
Yeah,
I don't mind that at all. I think Malarkey gets him out of there, and I think Oldberg gets him out of there. I think they both get finishes. It's not a bad bet. I bet you. Let me check the odds on that. I bet you that gets even money. Let me just pull
I
this
would
quick.
I would go as crazy as saying Tafa, Elberg, and Malarkey by finish by KO.
I'm not that far. I don't like Tafa that much. Yeah, dude. If we throw Malarkey and Oldberg together, it's -110.
Yeah, I would do that. I would do that. Lock of the week, Malarkey and Ulberg. Okay, Jamie Malarkey. This is my step two in the round robin. Um, Even though um, Malarkey got stopped, he got knocked out. Um, that guy that he fought, Muhammad Naimov, I believe is how you pronounce his name.
Yep.
That guy is a freak. And Malarkey did look good for the little bit that he was standing up before he got the lights shut off. Um, I think he is a dog. I think he is legit. Um, Another Australia guy. He did have a lot of hype behind him. He did lose before losing to Naimov. He did lose to Jalen Turner. I do like Jalen Turner. I think he just needs to kind of sort some stuff out on his end. But going against Makdessi, who um, lost to Nasserat almost a year ago, and then he's got um, a win over Bahamondes, and then a loss to Francisco Trinaldo, and then a win by over Pinedo, and another win over Ross Pearson. I think Malarkey is legit. I think he's got heavy hands. He's going to be taller. He's going to have a huge reach advantage. I think almost 6 inches, and I think he's just gonna. I think he's gonna put him out. Malarkey's 16-6, not the best record, but he's also got 10 knockouts and 3 subs. I think he's gonna go out there and put his lights out. I really, really do. I'm pretty firm in that, especially going against a guy. When I just said he's 16-6. The other guy, Makdessi's 18-8. So I think he can do it. It's gonna be a huge crowd, huge advantage, and and this guy's already been knocked out twice. So we know what can happen. Hopefully we can get a win here from Malarkey. But this guy is just a journeyman in the UFC, and I think they really want to get some more hype behind Jamie Malarkey.
Yeah, I'm on the same page here. I think Malarkey is kind of, if you remember a couple cards ago, the Billy Goff style, just kind of the junkyard dog. He gets in there,
Yeah.
he's gonna get in your face, he's gonna hit you with some stuff up close. And if your chin is not what it used to be, which I believe that Makdessi's chin is not what it used to be, you're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel it come end of the first, into the second. You're gonna be feeling those punches a little bit heavier than what they actually are. So for me, I think Malarkey's gonna put him away too. I think it's gonna be one of those clinics. He walks him down. He maybe takes a little bit of time at the beginning of the first, but by the end of the first, I think we're gonna be able to see what's going on and what's about to happen for the rest of the fight. And then at that point, I think it's just going to be Malarkey chasing the finish. I think this is one of the easiest fights to fight, or one of the easiest fights to call on the card. I think out of them all, Malarkey is kind of the guy that I think should get it done. And Makdessi, I know a lot of people, he's a vet. He's good underdog this week according to a lot of people, but I don't see it. Malarkey in his home, of Australia slash New Zealand. He fights out of a gym there. Yeah, I think it's easy. I think it's easy to
I mean,
call.
he hasn't finished someone since Shane Campbell in 2015.
I think that
So
changes.
I don't. No, no. You think it changes for McDessie?
Wait. Oh, you're talking about Magdesi. I thought you were talking about Malarkey. I was like, huh. I think
Oh, no, 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 no.
Malarkey
So
finishes
McDessie,
everybody.
that's what I'm saying. He either finishes you or he gets finished.
Yeah,
So this McDessie hasn't had a finish since 2015. He's not getting any younger. He's on the wrong side of 35. So he's 38 years old, facing a guy that's um 29, so 9 years younger, right?
yep.
Um, I age is there, the height is there, the reach is there. Fighting out of Australia, the home crowd is there. This should be a slam dunk for Malarkey. I like this ending by uh, Malarkey by finish knockout.
I'm a fan. I like it too. All right,
So
Tim.
this one, this one right here, this is another one of those. What are we doing here? So we got Carlos Ulberg versus Da Un Jung. Um, Ulberg is
The sexiest
is
man in the UFC, Tim. That's what
he
that's
is
what
he's
Goldberg is.
he's coming off a four-fight win streak. Three of them are finishes, and he is just lighting people up, knocking them out. Um, he kind of took a turn after that. Kennedy and Njoku lost. He kind of wrote the ship. Got a nice decision win over Sharon, and then he finished Tafon and Chukwi, um, Nurga Maranu. I don't know how to say that, and then Poteria. Um, I had actually had money on Poteria, to be honest with you. But you can't. I don't think he's fadeable, and especially going up against Jung, who just lost the decision to Devin Clark, and before that, he got knocked out by Dustin Jacoby. I mean, MMA math says that since Jung beat Kennedy and Joku, and Ulberg lost to him, MMA math is saying that Jung should win this fight.
MMA
But I,
math sucks
but it works.
sometimes.
Um, more times than not, but I think this is the one case where it's not going to work. New Zealand guy, pretty even on the height, the reach. Jung is a little bit younger, 3 years younger, but I think Ulberg just has that power. I think he can carry that power. City kickboxing guy. Um, it should be lights out. One, two, three for Jung. So I think Ulberg by knockout here is going to be the play. I don't think you could take a money line, to be honest with you. Um,
Be a parlay anchor maybe.
yeah, but I think he should finish him. And he's also obviously in my round robin, if I didn't say it before.
Yeah, man. I think this might. We'll have to talk, but I think this might end up being our lock. It's just Olberg minus. I think he's minus 260 right now. When I just looked.
But is that a lock though? If it's minus 260.
I don't know, man. That was we had. I mean, if we do lock and dogs, then I feel like it gives us a little bit of room with the lock. We did Giga when he was like minus 260. Um, or minus like two, maybe it was 230, 240, something like that. But I just don't see Oldberg losing this. Da Jung, he's young and he can make a lot of improvements, but he also half the time looks like a decent fighter and half the time looks like he does not belong in the UFC. Like His last two fights, it was borderline would not make the PFL playoffs type shit. And I think
Oh,
Billy Bob down on the corner who smokes meth with his friends on the weekend, has a shot at the PFL playoffs nowadays. And Daun Jun was not making the cut in that last fight. When he fought Devin Clark, he looked like he didn't know what the fuck he was doing. It looked like he stumbled in there after, maybe a week of hitting pads, hadn't sparred in 3 months. And then you go back and I watched his fight against Kennedy and I watched his fight against William Knight and I'm like, oh, this dude knows how to fight. So I don't know what happened in that fight against Devin Clark, but regardless, I like judging you on your last fight, a little bit heavier than the fights before. So I think Oldberg goes out, takes his head off early. And if you're a Da Un Jung supporter, you're going to have to be betting on one of two things. One being he goes for takedowns, which we haven't seen except for William Knight. He took down William Knight. That was it. And then two, he extends Carlos Ulberg. But Carlos Ulberg didn't look terrible extended. Kennedy put a crazy pace on him, and so he looked a little bit tired. But all things granted, I mean, do we know if he's going to gas out? It's a 3-round fight. He's at City Kickboxing. He's a kickboxer. I don't know. And so you're betting on a lot of things that I just don't think are rock solid. So for me, I think it's Olberg. I think it's Olberg by knockout. And if I had to put a round on it, I'd say early. And if I had to put a minute on it, I'd say first 2 minutes of the fight. I mean, this is one
yeah,
of those Diego Lopez situations where I'm thinking this guy might steamroll him 90 seconds in.
yeah. And to be fair, when he fought Kennedy, that was his UFC debut.
And Kennedy's a tall task. Kennedy's a borderline top 15, top 20 guy.
So, he just got starched. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, but trying to make a good impression. You're on your first, UFC fight, right? You're on the Izzy and Jan card, so there's a lot of pressure. So we'll see what happens. He always fights. He always fights on the Izzy cards. So I think after he got that first one out of the way, um, he's good to go now. I think that's what it was. That's his only loss, and I think that was in part due to nerves, man.
Yeah.
Um, we see what happens when these people get into the to the bright lights and the amount of pressure you're trying to show how good your gym is, and especially when there's so much eyes on city kickboxing just from the people that are on that roster who train there. So it's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's gonna come out and show out here. I really do.